In a far, far away country, there was a king who lived in a palace built facing the sea on one side and the golden endless dunes of the desert on the other side. The king had a daughter, beautiful, gentle, and radiant like a warm spring sunny morning. Iris was her name. She was known as the Rainbow Princess because she always wore a scarf with the 7 colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Her mother died when she was young, and she was raised by her nurse, Aisha, under the strict guidance of her father and the company of 7 older brothers. The palace had a beautiful garden with fountains and trees, which would offer a pleasant shadow and hosted singing birds. But for some mysterious reason, no flowering plant could survive in the garden, something that saddened the princess who loved flowers very much. Iris spent her days learning poetry, dance, painting, and baking. But above all, she loved to play her mandolin, and wherever possible she would go to the tallest tower of the palace to play in solitude. One night, a terrible storm swept across the sea with tall, raging waves and roaring winds. But when the sun rose, as if by magic, the sky and sea went suddenly still, and the princess felt a sudden urge to go and play in the tower. She looked outside the window in the hope of seeing a rainbow, but something else caught her attention. A castaway was laying on the beach. She called out at the man and was relieved seeing him rising on his feet, exhausted but unharmed. She urged him to go at the gate of the palace where the guard will assist him. The stranger spoke. "I have no words to thank you enough, my lady. My name is Arthur Millefiori, and I am prince of a land across the sea. The ship I was traveling with was destroyed by the storm, and I am afraid I am the only survivor. I dare not, however, enter the palace yet, as in this state I would be confused for a beggar. Would you be so kind to point me the nearest village where I can buy clothes fit for an audience with the king of this land?" Iris understood, but seeing the exhausted prince struggling to walk, she signed him to wait. She went to the kitchen, took some of those delicious biscuits, and with the scarf she lowered them to Arthur. The prince was again enormously grateful for her thoughtfulness. He ate some biscuits and immediately felt his strength return. Iris then pointed him to the nearest village, and he walked away, promising that they would soon see each other again. Iris was very impressed by the manners and speech of the foreign prince, and in her heart she hoped that he would keep his promise. In the village, Arthur sold the emerald family ring on his finger. It was a beautiful ring, and the honest merchant gave him in return the most fine dress and horse in his possession. Arthur could not stop thinking of the princess, and losing no time, he went back to the palace to request an audience. The king and his sons welcomed him and asked for the purpose of his visit. Arthur told of his travels and the ordeals of the previous night. At the end he added, "Oh, most noble king, from the moment I saw your daughter I felt deeply in love with her, and I would like to humbly ask her to consider me worth to become her husband." Iris' heart jumped for joy in her chest when she heard those words, but the king was silent and clearly displeased. He consulted with his sons. They dared not reject the plea of Arthur, so they decided to test the prince with an impossible task. The king spoke. "Noble Arthur, I will grant you the hand of my daughter if you can bring in these gardens 7 flowers, one for each color of the scarf that she is wearing. This way you will prove me that your feelings are true." "Certainly this task will be an easy one for a powerful and capable prince as you," he added with a false smile. Iris felt like to cry. She knew that no flowers could grow in the gardens of the palace, and understood that her father was trying to trick the prince. But Arthur bowed and thanked the king for the chance he was given. Then he walked to Iris and kneeled down. He gave her the last of his possessions, a simple necklace with a pearl that his mother gave him before he left. He gave the necklace to Iris, saying, "Do not worry, I will be back with the flowers, I promise." And without further words, he left the palace.